My name is Larousse, and I'm a fine art street and documentary photographer based in Hamburg, Germany. And as you can probably tell, I'm also a podcast producer. Well, it started what feels like kind of a long time ago. It was in the late 70s. I was about 6 years old, and I went to the grocery store around the corner and had 50 cents, and I bought a grab bag. That's these paper bags with the presents inside where you don't know what it is. So I went through all the bags at the store and I took the one which was the largest. There was a big something in there, so I figured must be the best value for money. Took it home, opened it, and there was a beautiful black and blue plastic camera inside. And it was not one of those toy cameras, but it was a real camera where you could put in a real roll of film. Now in the 70s, color film was still kind of expensive, so I went to my mom and said, I want a roll of film, I want a roll of film. And she gave me a black and white roll of film because it was cheaper at the time. So I went off and shot my first roll of black and white film. And I could say that I started to get hooked, but I guess somewhat that's true. Now, I really started to get into photography in high school when I took one of these photo courses. And of course, it was analog at the time. And I developed rolls of film and just saw the magic of creating something from nothing. When you sit there and you're in the developed bath and you see how all of a sudden an image appears from nothing. That really got me hooked. So I guess it all started there. And today I share my passion for the beauty in everyday life through my street photography in exhibitions, books, and workshops. But I also do photo documentaries documenting events, or do the portrait photography that ends up as high quality museum grade prints framed in my clients' houses. Because I'm still a big advocate for printing your images. And I've also producing photography related podcasts for many years, and I'm sharing my passion and knowledge of photography in those shows at PPN Photo Podcast Network. Well, that's kind of easy. For me, that's the COSYSPEED Street-O-Matic Plus Cam Slinger bag. It's a great bag for street photography and documentary photography. It's just big enough that you can put the most important things that you really need for a day of shooting out there. And of course, if you are on a bigger job, you need a bigger backpack. But this bag is really nice because it keeps my gear down and I can wear it around the hip. So all the weight is off my shoulders and on the hip. And when you're getting in the mid 40s, your shoulders tend to hurt after a day of shooting. Not so with this bag when you wear it around the hip. So I find it really convenient to carry it that way because you all know from backpacks, the good professional backpacks, you always want the weight below your spine so your back and shoulders don't hurt. So that's great about this bag. However, you can also wear it as a sling bag. You just have to make the strap a bit longer, wear it like a sling bag. So if that's more comfortable for you, you can also do that. I pretty much use my Street-O-Matic bag daily. So let's have a look inside what's in my bag today. Of course, camera. This is a film camera. And when you have a film camera, you need extra film. Digital camera, it's just convenient to have. Now, hand sanitizer, also something that we need today. Light meter, for those times when you're not 100% sure about the exposure. And also what we need today, face mask. Business cards, it's also very important, especially as a street photographer. And the modern film roll memory card. The Street-O-Matic Plus also has some extra pockets, so let me quickly show you what's in those. Tissues, extra batteries. Pocket number 1, there's also rain cover, never used that, never needed to. It's always safe enough and kept my cameras dry enough in the rain. And here is your bag for your smartphone. And last but not least, you can put a key in here or some change, because change using public transportation or wanting to buy a drink quickly, it's always convenient to have around. Well, I don't know if it was really funny, at least it wasn't funny for me, but it's something that comes up right to my head is that about 20 years ago, I traveled to Taiwan. I was first in Japan and a friend gave me his old film camera because he had no use for it 20 years ago. That was when digital was really starting. So I took his film camera. Of course, I had a few rolls of film with me and I thought, what a perfect time to go out and shoot film in Taipei with this new camera. Beautiful city, very interesting place. So I loaded my roll of film and started to hit the streets and just walk around and find interesting scenes. And as the day progressed and I took my images, there came a time when I thought, this film lasts quite long. And you know, a roll of film has 36 exposures. So after what felt to be about 60 or 70 exposures, I was getting nervous. So I started to just crank through a few more frames until I was really sure something wasn't right. And I opened the film compartment and of course, I didn't load the film correctly. So what would have been the very best images of all of my photography life never made it on the roll of film. Well, maybe they were not my best ones, but you know, you just feel like you pretend the images that you missed would have been the most valuable ones. So that wasn't really, for me, a funny story, but it's a story that I always remember that when I think, yeah, you should really, really check twice if you have a full battery or if your memory cards are intact and empty, you should really make sure that you get those images that you went out for. But at least those images are still in my head and I'm the only one who gets to enjoy them. Well, I think everyday life really inspires me. There are so many beautiful moments that only last 1/1000th of a second and then they're gone. And most people don't pay attention to those. And sort of my inspiration and purpose is to be out there and capture those moments that are plentiful around, but like I said, most people won't see them. And unless you have a camera, you won't be able to really preserve this memory for anyone else. So that is what inspires me. Every day again, I walk around and I'm looking for these special moments in life. And what I like is when I take these pictures and look at them afterwards, I make up a story to the scene that I captured. Now, of course, it's a made-up story. No one knows what these people that just happened to be there were doing or how they seem to have interacted with a poster or with other people on different layers in the frame. But I like to make up stories, kind of like a movie poster for a movie. And I like for my audience to do the same. When they look at the image, they should spend some time and find a story before and after that image was captured. And that really makes me happy when people start to interact with images and not just flick through them like an Instagram. Take time for images, no matter if it's in a photo book or in an exhibition. We should all spend more time with individual images and discover the little stories inside. And I call my series Poetry of Coincidence. So if you have the opportunity, please check it out online. Thank you so much, Thomas and COSYSPEED, for giving me the opportunity to introduce myself and my work to your audience. And please continue to make great camera bags for us in the future.